All right, and welcome to the weekly BrainDrive development call update live stream. We do these every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Dave Waring, and I handle the operations side here at BrainDrive.
And I'm David Jones, and I handle the tech side of the operations here at BrainDrive.
Our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems. We call that BrainDrive, and it is a modular plugin based architecture that allows you to own, control, and build on top of your AI system. This is an MIT licensed system, and everything you see here is built using our modular plugin based architecture. We've got a chat interface that comes default, but this is completely modifiable. You can change it, build on top of it, fork it, all MIT licensed. And really, chat is just the beginning. We like to say the only limit to what you can build on BrainDrive is your imagination. Here's an example of an infinite craft game that Dave put together as an example of this. So you're really not limited at all. And we look forward to developers building on top of BrainDrive, which is a foundation that you own and control instead of big tech companies. And with that, I'll hand it over to Dave to update on last week's development progress.
Let's see. I'm going to start sharing my screen initially, and we'll start into what we were doing last week. The first part was we got our Mac installer through the notary process that isn't within Apple. That did not go nearly as smooth as I would have hoped, considering I'm not a Mac user or a Mac developer. So it was my first experience tasting all that, but we did make it all the way through it. I haven't had a chance to do a complete test run yet, but it is available if anybody wants to bang on it. It's
Oh, it's
sitting there.
approved.
Yes, yes. Oh, I thought
Oh,
you,
that's
yep.
great.
Yeah, we
And it's
did.
an example of even open source MIT license that are competing with big tech still have to deal with the government of big
Yep.
tech sometimes.
Yeah, well, because we wanted to go for everything, not just being able to install on an Apple, but we wanted to actually be approved by Apple, so there's no gatekeeper consideration, or is this okay for me to use? It's through Apple's entire process. They have validated through malware and whatever they do on their end. And then it has a stapling process, they call it, which basically just that code is locked in. We can update it. It goes faster. I can tell you that from the, we had one issue with developing the app within the DMG. They gave me advice on what to do. It worked. And then the second time we went through it, it went from 2.5 days to probably about 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that we'll have changes to make. We'll, whatever we're going to do on the installer, we'll go faster this next time around. But we're through the first hurdle. So that's all good. We'll take that as a big win.
Awesome.
Um, let's see. Go into some of the things that we did last week. We have been working on CAG before we hit under RAG and other things like that. So one of the things we wanted to do was offer different documents that you could upload versus the standard markdown or text that we were doing before. So in that regard, you just simply hit the little blue button for upload. I have a PDF here. It's just a no nonsense little gaming PDF. It slowly, well, not actually not slowly, but it uploads it. It does very, I'll call it minimal pre-processing, cleans it up, just, bare minimum type. I didn't want to alter too much of the documentation. And we are also doing this all in memory. We're trying to rely on no databases or no hardcore changes to the back end. This is very just we'll call it a level 2 CAG system at this point, no longer level 1. And so you simply save it to the conversation. You can see how it parsed the document up for you, hide it, and then let's see if I can answer, remember my test questions. Let's see. Uh, this is just a gaming PDF. I couldn't find anything I liked sizable. Yep. And it's all the related information from the PDF. It's
And
pretty
all of
simple.
this is 100% local, right?
Yes, yeah, there is nothing being, there's no even secondary processes running through this entire process. It's all our back end. It doesn't go anywhere. So whatever you upload. You don't have to worry about it hitting the internet at all. In fact, you can pull your cord and just stay at home and do
Yeah, so
little
no
CAG.
internet required. And when we say our backend, we mean the BrainDrive backend.
Yep,
When you download this onto your computer, it's your backend.
correct.
So this
Uh,
is really cool because it allows you to, a big reason why people often want to run local AI systems like BrainDrive is because of the privacy element. And this allows you to chat with your private data without having to feed it to a big tech AI system. And you actually know for 100% sure that as long as no one has access to your computer, no one has access to this information because you don't even have to connect to the internet to do this, which is
Correct. And
huge.
yeah, and it works pretty good. This is only a 7B model that I'm using, and it was able to pull the exact information I wanted out. And it's in the chat history. So if you want to keep the conversation going, you're free to do so, and it has all the data to pull from. I do want to try some things later on down the road, but for where we wanted to stop at this point to allow certain things, it does everything we wanted to. Currently, it can handle PDFs. It can handle docx, which is Microsoft's open Word documentation format. The PowerPoint Open XML presentation from Microsoft as well. HTML, Markdown, EPUBs, which are electronic publication format. And let's see, Open Document Text, which is from the Open Office type formats, and RTFs.
Amazing.
So
I'll clip this from the live stream today and post it in the forum. And if anybody has additional formats they want or tries it out and has comments or bugs or anything like that, just post them there in the forum at community.braindrive.ai.
yeah. Now we do have for a real, I'll call a hardcore CAG system. There are certain things we could probably do in the future. However, that's getting pretty close to a RAG setup, which is where we're heading to anyway. So I think this is a good separation line. This type of structure will leave in CAG and allow people to get up and running fast, throw a document out, use it in your responses and such, and get moving.
And when
Um,
would you like, why is there a one shot and then a save to conversation? When might you want to use one versus the other?
um, To me, I don't know yet. It's just I could see let's say if you were trying to keep the context window down, you just wanted to simply have the data there to ask a question to and then throw it away. That would allow you to do that. And then if you wanted to keep it in your context permanently, and the reason I see the difference is because if for that one shot, this would allow you to quickly, I believe in the future, quickly move between multiple documents. So it's like because you have a context window you have to always be concerned about. And let's say you're dealing at 32K. As we see in this document, it's 19 basically right off the bat. So the ability to I load this up or a document like it takes up 20. I ask my questions, and then I can drop that and load another one, and then ask my
How
questions.
do you drop it?
That will come when you'll be able to hear a little thing that says right here, drop it from context, and it'll just drop it from the context window. And then you'll be able to upload a second one and have that new area free for
Versus
addition.
if you save it to the conversation history, it's going to be there in the
Yep.
context window for from that point on.
Yes, exactly. And this, to me, it would allow you to build an entire conversation by pulling the pieces out of documents you want and then being able to actually write, let's say, an article, which would involve multiple conversations into one solid piece of content.
Right. Okay. And it's going to keep the responses in
Yep.
the context
Yep.
window. So you can say, all right, here's a 100-page document. I'm only really interested from this, let's say it's a research study. I'm only interested in where they talk about molecular biology, which is only two of the 100 pages. So I upload the document. I say, tell me what this paper says about molecular biology,
Yep.
maybe have a couple back and forths. Then I delete
Yep.
go back up to where it says show, delete that eventually. You'll have a little checkbox there. And
Yep.
then I've got the molecular biology portion of that paper in my chat history, but not the whole paper. So that frees up a lot of the context window to,
If you,
continue on.
let's say you had a second research paper that took a different view of molecular biology or how it, big pharma is utilizing that,
Yeah.
like that, and suddenly you're able to pull multiple sources into one document. If you're, like I said, is basically this is really good for content or emerging a lot of information. You just take what you need, dump the rest, and so that way you don't sit there and absorb an entire contents window.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I could see why you would want that and why that would be very beneficial. Um,
Because
um,
a lot of documents are full of stuff. You have not, a good example, 99 pages you didn't need, one page with a few back and forth, and suddenly you have the window you wanted.
right. Got it. Okay, great. Super cool.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. I spent a little time in our favorite little area of the install plugins. Basically, we cleaned this up. I was watching Navaneeth when he was developing his plugin. He found a few issues and a few little errors. So they got cleaned up, mainly dealing with timers. And let's see what else.
You added the security notice I wanted, which is great.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Pull the security notice out of there and move it over to the
I
panel.
like how it's highlighted there too. And this is where you go to install plugins on your
Yep.
BrainDrive, and you can deploy and install a plugin from any GitHub you would like. And we also have plugins that we've developed and eventually others that developed it have gone through our checks just for basic security, no malware, etc. on community.braindrive.ai in the plugin marketplace.
Yep, and to go through an example, before we used to install the plugin, it would not do certain things that I always envisioned it would, and watching Navaneeth, they become very glaring issues because of the amount of at hand he had to get involved in to have it. So now I just simply have where it installs the plugin for you, like it was doing before. We have the new interface, which was probably a few versions ago. It updates your side menu for you automatically, so you
Oh,
no longer.
great. So you don't have to refresh anymore.
Yep.
That's huge.
And Navinate's discovered a bug where if I went straight to that page, it would actually error out on him. It doesn't do that anymore. It starts working from the word go.
Awesome.
Uh, so that's the advantage. Like when I'm coding and testing, it's all muscle memory. I'm going through the steps in my head. I don't vary too much, and that's the price of coding, I guess. Being able to watch Navaneeth go through it and see his struggles. It was like I just sat there and did a list. So when I hit the installer, because that's where I seen them all, it was like I knocked them all out. And if you uninstall this plugin now, not only will it take the page away, because as it should when it cleans itself up, it will again update the side menu and get it out of there.
Amazing. Really cool.
Yep. So it basically there's a lot of quality of life went into this. And no longer timeout. I pushed the timeout up to 120 seconds on plugin installs automatically as a default. So
Awesome.
so he should have a much better experience right off the bat. And then we get to white labels. I don't have a plugin to show you, but what we did is we wanted to one change the message that you get here from the "Can I help you" to something that will actually give you a little information you can rely on. It has your links. So if you need to get access to the manual, to the community, you don't have to go, oh my God, I forget where that is, or go back to the GitHub. You simply can go from right here. I also put them at the bottom right here. So no matter where you are in BrainDrive, you will always have access to the documentation and the community. And if you want to get to BrainDrive, that is right here as well.
Awesome.
So,
Super
and there'll be,
cool.
yeah, there'll be more links as we start to build out on different pages. We go, yeah, this type is needed here or XYZ. And the white label, I believe, has links for support, community, regular primary BrainDrive, and the owner's manual. There you go.
Awesome. Super cool.
So this took a little more than I expected. I told Dave, no, that'll be easy on Thursday or whatever, like Friday, whenever it was, and it was all going really easy. And then all of a sudden, I found a bug, so I was like, that just took a little longer into the weekend. My wife made sure she wasn't very happy because I was like, told her I was like, this is only going to take a moment, and then Sunday was blown.
That's too bad.
It happens.
At least it worked out.
Yep.
What's the
Yep.
worst is when you blow your Sunday, make your wife mad, and you don't get it done.
Yeah. True. That would have been worst case. Like, I was still able to get done in time to go cook dinner. because it was like for Christmas. I don't know if she got me or her one of the new Ninja foodies, so I was able to get back in the kitchen, cook dinner. That was turned out well.
Nice.
Just spent a few more hours than I wanted to. But that's what we basically got done this week. I was pretty happy with it overall. It's like we got done what we wanted to accomplish with the CAG and the installer, and of course, helping users get the links that they wanted, and ready to move into this week.
Awesome. Before we get to that, just a couple updates from my side on Navaneeth's, who is one of our other developers that Dave was referring to. He's working on our first use case for BrainDrive owners. We call our users owners because that's what you are. You own your BrainDrive with BrainDrive, and you're not a user of a big tech AI system. It's your system. And we want to have some individual use cases that really align with, I think, what is starting to be referred to as the flourishing economy. And so much of the AI news is negative in terms of taking people's jobs, et cetera. But there's also a lot of positives that are coming with AI. And I think one of them is going to be using this as sort of a co-pilot for your life that really helps you develop in the areas where you want to develop and avoid the mistakes that you want to avoid. So we're starting with what we call Y-Finder, and this is a structured process that walks you through a chat to extract some stories about your life and interview you in a way. It's based on Simon Sinek's Find Your Why, and that's sort of like your life's purpose. So he's working on that, and that's what Dave was referring to. We had a few bugs. It sounds like those are resolved now. I'll show a full walkthrough of the Y-Finder next week, and so he should be pretty much done with that, unless there's a couple little things that he needs to do based on what Dave's done. And he's now working on adding Ikigai to Y-Finder. And Y-Finder is really about a why statement, like what's sort of the purpose of your life. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy that kind of takes that a couple of steps further. And there's basically four circles. There's, what you love, what you're skilled at, what the world needs, and what you can make money doing. And the intersection of those four circles is your Ikigai. And so taking the Y-Finder, which is, you know, I think it would be a bit too much to walk people through all four of those things. But once we've proven with this BrainDrive plugin that you can find your why, then we've proven it's worth spending some more time to go through and find that Ikigai. And once we have that, we can then use the persona system that Dave's built to create a persona. And this is basically a custom system prompt that will, this is the one for the infinite craft assistant that plays the game. And this, you can upload your why and your Ikigai and all that into this. And then when you have a question like, should I, go for this promotion, or should I consider changing careers, or that type of thing, you can chat with your Ikigai persona and it will advise you in all those different areas. So, I think that'll be a very powerful use case for people. And that's also the kind of thing that will help you develop your own knowledge base and context around your life where you have ownership and control of that, instead of just giving that all away to a big tech company. The more these systems help us, the more we're going to rely on them. And whoever owns that context about you is really going to have a lot of control over your life, the more you use these systems. So you want to be the person that owns and controls that. And that's what BrainDrive allows you to do. And Y-Finder is meant to be a first step that helps you start developing that context for yourself instead of a big tech company. So we're excited about that. Is something else you wanted to say on that,
Yeah,
Dave?
on that is like I was trying because you told me about the Ikigai and I looked it up. And some of this stuff, of course, been around for a while, but I was trying to figure out a dashboard for all of this because it was like uh, you're gathering so much information that if somebody had this like on a dashboard where every day they wake up and they get things visibly to them that deals with their find their why, their ikigai. And I think it could be a very powerful tool. And I found nothing in my little research. And then Trish, I got to give her all credit on this one. She brought up the avatar system because it was like this little thing that I've coded and we plan on doing in the future. But the avatar system would be perfect for rather than having to create database tables and try to find all this. Instead, it goes to the avatar system where you can keep your ikigai, you can keep your find your whys and multiple ones. And then that can be used to fill the dashboard right there without ever having to do anything extra into the system because it's basically geared towards doing this. And it's like suddenly you could have a dashboard waking up each day that you have a journal that you keep your successes, you keep your failures, and it can remind you. It's like, hey, we kind of dropped off last week on doing XYZ. Why don't we try to hit it again? Or give you ideas of how to reapproach it. Or even a congratulations, go, hey, last week you rocked it.
Right.
Here's your taco. Those kind of things. It can actually help push you and show you your wins because most people they never get anybody showing them their wins, and it can help you get your losses to wins. So I think that could be a very powerful little dashboard for people.
I agree, and I want it for myself. So
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this of you almost need a personal dashboard these days, and I'm like, well, if you're already going through this stuff, this becomes your personal dashboard.
yeah, it's kind of like if you're super rich, like you could have an individual expert sort of helping you and guiding you through all areas of your life.
Yep.
But that would be a costly
And
endeavor. But with AI, it may not be quite as good as having the best expert in the world helping you, but it's a hell of a lot better than nothing.
Well, it becomes your own mini, like with knowledge bases, your own mini rag system. It keeps track of what you've done. It keeps your history. You can change how the personality talks back to you, and set those kind of things. So you can actually structure the conversation. If you want somebody like a little dry humor, throw it in there. If you want, talk like a pirate, talk like a pirate. You know, you
Aw-
you could have it give you like little Lego designs sometimes because you like Legos.
Awesome. So we should have some good stuff ready to show on
Yeah.
that in next Monday's call. And then I was working on videos. So we have on the forum, the community forums here. Actually, I'll go from the dashboard. We have using your brain drive, and then we have your how to own your AI system course. And this is a 10 lesson course that it walks you through from zero to hero to getting up and running with your own AI system using BrainDrive. And now this is all text currently, but I've started doing videos for this, and I have 5 videos of the 9 completed so far, and I'm not going to show the full thing, but I just want to show just a piece of it for people to have sort of a sense of, what we're doing here. And I'll just show the first minute or so of
Welcome to
this.
lesson 4 of the How to Own Your AI System course from BrainDrive.ai. In this lesson, I'm excited to introduce you to BrainDrive, the free ChatGPT alternative that you own and control. Our vision here at BrainDrive is to create a superior user-owned alternative to big tech AI systems, an AI system built on the 4 pillars of BrainDrive. Pillar number 1 is ownership. We believe you should own your AI system. Pillar number 2 is freedom. We believe your AI system should not be restricted. Pillar number 3 is empowerment. We believe your AI system should be easy to use and build on. And pillar number 4 is sustainability. We believe that value should flow to those that create it instead of a big tech platform. We've created an initial interface to get you started that looks very similar to what you'll see in big tech AI systems like ChatGPT.
So you can get a sense of, being able to bring the system up
Yep.
and, the video editing tools, Descript in particular, which I'm using for this, have really improved pretty dramatically. And then, the image creation stuff and everything, like it's getting from somebody I started on YouTube in 2009 doing some videos and to see how far it's come. Also, something that's cool, Dave, is the Descript now has like an agent editor, and it's
Yeah.
not on the level of Codex and Claude
Yeah.
Code and et cetera, but you can see the direction of it's the same. Put a
Yeah.
transition everywhere there's a break. Delete all
Yeah.
duplicate, and it just goes through and does it for you, which is pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, you got to look at that is probably in sync with like you look at image generation, like you said, between even though you look back, what, 12 months now, how far images come. I mean, 12 months ago, people were like, it can't do text. Now it's
Yeah.
get It's crazy, this type of texting. You could have 3 or 4 different fonts. You could do an entire story, 9 panel storyboard in the same shot,
Yep.
those kind of things. So every part of AI, I think audio and those kind of are the weakest points of AI, but they're starting to gain some momentum, especially with Microsoft doing Vibe Voice, and they're open sourcing that. So it's like I expect this is 2026. I expect to see a lot of audio picking up and what can be accomplished there.
Awesome. So agreed. So I put together just a little. We have on, I forgot to do this in the opening, but we have on our doc site, docs.braindrive.ai, we have our 5 phase roadmap in terms of how we're going about building this. And this is actually done now with the Mac installer, the foundation. And now we're in the polish phase of really getting the full user-owned AI experience from a text-based, chat-based, and RAG and CAG and the things that Dave's working on now, plus the ability to build on top of this, which is going to allow us to develop everything else alongside the community of developers. And then we have our entrepreneur release, because you're going to be building on a foundation that you own and control and can deploy wherever, et cetera. We want there to be a user-owned economy that builds on top of this user-owned AI system, which will lead to the community acceleration. There is a lot more talent and capital outside of these big tech companies than there is within them. And this is where we can really accelerate and surpass these big tech AI systems. So we have that roadmap. And then if you go to our GitHub, if you're a developer, we have the project, which breaks down our to-do list, all of our to-do items on this. So you can see what we're working on there and potentially jump in and help out. And then I put together just a little, kind of, this is kind of the foundation, right, that we're working on. We have our install system, which is now V1 of that is done. Chat interface, local models, API-based model, local models with OLLAMA, API-based models with OpenRouter. We have the persona system, which works, allows you to use custom systems prompt throughout the system. Context augmented generation CAG, which Dave showed off today. He's now switching to start working on RAG. We have the page builder, which allows you, it's a what you see is what you get. Drag and drop scenario here. So you can drag in plugins and manipulate them and move them around the page. Then we have our plugin system, which we showed off in this call as well, allowing you one-click install from any GitHub. Also, lifecycle management in terms of update, delete, all of that one click. We have our documentation site, which I just showed you with the roadmap and all of our user and developer documentation on it. We're working on training, which is the videos that I just showed. And then BrainDrive Concierge is going to be our AI-powered support assistant that eventually will be in BrainDrive that you can chat with for both using and developing on top of BrainDrive. So this, unless you think I've forgotten something there,
No,
Dave.
that covers it. I really, it's like anything extra beyond that, we start getting out of the scope of what as you foundational items. If we can go through those one more time and clean them up, the things we learn, based on Navaneeth and other developers touching, ever the users touching and going, hey, this is good except for XYZ.
Right.
Then
So
it'll
I'm
be solid.
thinking, so I'm thinking the last two things that the three things that we're not done on now, at least with we know we need to go back through everything and polish everything, but RAG, is one that we still have to finish off. Training, I need to finish all of the videos and everything, and then concierge. So, you're going to be working on RAG, I'm going to be working on training, and I think once Navaneeth is finished with Ikigai, we have him start working on concierge because I think he's very well suited to be able to do this. He's trained in machine learning and fine-tuning algorithms and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
So I think that'll be good. And the RAG system should, the CAG and the RAG system should help us out with that
Yep.
as well.
Most
And
definitely.
it also fits in with the use case, right?
Yep.
Is like it's like a Y Finder and Ikigai is just for developing, using and developing on top of BrainDrive.
Yep.
So that's I went through all of our roadmap and all of our project to do items, etc. And I wasn't seeing anything. There's a lot of other stuff on there, but I wasn't seeing anything that I'm like, okay, this is the foundation. And to me, if the brain drive core development team is focused on those things, like we can just keep going back over and over and
Yep.
over and improving those things while the rest of the community starts building on top of this foundation that we've laid, for them.
Works for me because like, that's where our original dream was, the fact of, hey, my job will make sure the core can do everything everybody needs, and then everybody else can do whatever they dream they need.
Right. So with that, I'm working on RAG, or you're working on RAG, and I'm working on the training. Navaneeth will be working on concierge once she's done with Ikigai. So I think that sets us up for this week in terms of what we're all working on.
Yeah, because my approach is to take the current two systems that we have right now and almost in some ways reverse engineer them. I'm going to get them running separately in their own little environments. And then once I have that up, I will work backwards into BrainDrive. So they install into BrainDrive. Katie proof them on ports and stuff like we discussed on Friday. So we don't have to worry about any of that and not get too fancy. We'll drop that plan out of the water for the moment. And then from there, introduce the install procedure for these processes so that when BrainDrive comes up, it quickly loads up these secondary processes and without that 10 to 15-minute delay that some users might experience.
Right. And so this is moving from context augmented generation CAG, where it's just extracting and processing right there in the chat
Yep.
window, to retrieval augmented generation, where the big difference is we're still doing that extraction and processing, but we have an embedding database where your embeddings go, and that is available to you to augment any conversation from that point on.
Yeah, the CAG actually the different one of the big things between our CAG system doesn't go through an AI or LLM at any point during the chunking or like that. It just basically drops it off into segments that can be consumed by an AI in context history. And then RAG, what it does is actually processes your document, finds every chunk that can be accumulated in there based on whatever the particulars we put in there. Right now, we'll probably just do tokens, so that I believe the last number used was like 2,000, a 2,000 token size chunk, and then they're broken down, and then do the Q&As so that we can verify in the moment when we're doing evaluations. My philosophy has always been to develop those Q&As when you're doing the processing. That way, afterwards, you never have to do them. You're not a user doesn't wait 2 seconds longer. The 2 seconds are always spent while the chunk is created. And that way, it's like whenever you put in a prompt, it goes to your RAG system, it only gets the chunks necessary, and in the moment, it allows a validation when it comes to the final content. It can validate that, hey, we have these facts inside your document, and the facts exist in the document. Or it's like, hey, if you said the New York Yankees won the last World Series, but it turns out somebody else did, it would catch them quicker.
So, and how are you envisioning this working like with the overall brain drive system? So let's say, I'm assuming, so we have the CAG,
Yep.
right? And then am I going to be going to a separate chat window for my RAG? Like, how do you envision all that working?
Right now, my goal would be to let's only use one chat window. If you have RAG turned on and it can find the processes, it will be shown to you. If you do not have them turned on, let's say you just installed it so they're not there, it will not show you anything regarding it. So it'll look exactly like you would see it today. You would have access to CAG. You'd be able to have a conversation with your LLM. And if you decided a week from now, like, okay, I want RAG now, I'm ready to grow up. So you go to the BrainDrive GitHub, you install it, it turns on, and then all of a sudden in your chat window, you have a new little feature that says, hey, would you like to upload a document and process it and go through and then it's available in your knowledge base.
Okay, so all right, so I install. We are thinking this is going to be a non-default plugin, or are we thinking this is
Yeah, I
going to be a
think
default plugin?
due to the size and the model constraints,
Okay.
we want to, like, non-tech users install BrainDrive quickly, get it up and run quickly without the circus. That's the first goal. You decide you like the little bit top that you're in right now. You want the whole circus with it, with clowns and animals. Then you start installing, and you get that way. It's like, as we talked at day one, when we were revisioning the system, was you only have the overhead that you bought into.
Right. And we want to get people to that first aha moment
Yep.
with I'm chatting with an AI system completely on my computer locally as
Yep.
quickly as possible. And so adding a big RAG system into that is going to slow that process down. So this is not going to be a default plugin. It'll be a
Correct.
community plugin, but maintained by the BrainDrive core
Yep.
development team. And all right, so I come into my BrainDrive. I'm good. I'm ready for the circus. I install the RAG plugin with the one-click installer,
Yep.
and I'm going to get a page in my BrainDrive pages list. Let me bring that up. So there will be a page over here that
You
says,
and in my vision, you're not going to get a new page.
okay,
You're at the AI chat page, the AI chat plugin. You will
yep,
get a new set of buttons like I did on the CAG, where you have the upload button. You will
yep,
get a new RAG button,
okay, and where's that going to be?
probably right to the left of it.
Okay,
I see no reason to stop the current trend of where we're building a toolbar. If we get larger, we'll figure out maybe another way to do that. But like I said, you click the RAG button. I'd also like to see down below, I will steal something from OpenAI where, well, down at where you do the prompt, you connect to. So you would be able to connect directly to your knowledge bases that you've created right there.
okay. So I have a button here.
Yep.
What happens when I click that button?
That will, if you recall the previous system, that's where you can build knowledge bases.
Okay.
You can establish a new project,
Yep.
and AKA knowledge base project. You can upload the 4 documents that you have, or however many documents you have to that knowledge base. The document processing will take over at that point. It will work in the background, chug the documents along into the whole system, and then turn it into a vector database for you to access. When that is finished, let's say that was your first one, the connect to down below will suddenly have whatever project name you gave that. So if it was BrainDrive.llc, for lack of better words, for your project name, all of a sudden down at the bottom, there'll be a plus sign. You hit the plus, it'll be connect to, and it'll say
Okay.
projects.
So you will so basically it will be a collection of documents based RAG system
Yep.
initially.
Yep.
Right. It's not going to like if I go and start a new chat once I've installed RAG, it's not going to start pulling stuff into context from the RAG unless I select a collection that I want. Am I going to be able to select multiple collections?
I see no reason why not, because you can do that in Avatar.
Yeah.
I hate
Okay.
limits.
So it will be a projects plus,
Yep.
right? It will be just like if you've used ChatGPT or Claude projects, you go in, you upload your documents, and any chat you have with that window is going to be grounded in the context
Yep.
from those documents.
Correct.
And I envision myself setting up different pages for this, because I want to have one place that has all my health data. I want to have another place that has all my financial data. I want to have another place that has all my relationship and life, coaching data. But it certainly will be beneficial to this is not an either or, it's a both, right? And it will certainly be
Because
interesting to bring that stuff in, right? The
yes,
other
because
context.
yes, because what's going to happen is that when we introduce RAG, it will automatically, I will add to the configuration, which is set up in Page Builder, and and at that point, you'll be allowed to either set up a default project so that when that page shows, like let's say if you had we'll pick a subject, your brain drive, you had a brain drive board, and you have a project inside your RAG system called brain drive board. You have all your documents for BrainDrive inside it. You would be able to go into Page Builder, take the AI BrainDrive chat plugin. You would be able to go into the configuration options of the plugin and select a default project. So that means whenever you start a chat, the project will automatically be there.
Amazing.
So that if you are down at the bottom on your pages and you named it, for lack of better words, BrainDrive board, that's set up to automatically, with no extra clicks, you turn on that, you go to that page, and BrainDrive board is automatically ready to discuss right there and then. You can still select it off. You can still select other projects
And
to
it's like
add.
if you have the board is like you have your AI CEO, your AI HR head, your CTO, and like, okay, for this one, I need the CEO and the CTO, so I'll bring those together and
Yep,
they'll talk, and it's awesome.
that's
Um,
that's the vision right there.
okay, so let me play devil's advocate to the layout here a little bit. Um, so first off, if you just want to build it how you just said, like I'm totally good. But I will say, and I don't know if it matters to do this right now, is it's pretty clear right now. Oh, this is they're doing personas.
Yep.
We were ahead on that. So right now, if I'm adding a document,
Yep.
CAG, I think the default, if you go,
Yep.
is here. If I go to Claude, it's here,
Yep.
right? So to me, this is kind of one of those things that's a little bit established in terms of
That's why I
UX.
said I had no problem with that one. I was already leaning in there. And because like as you notice, what because I'm with you on following what these other people are doing because they spend a lot more money on UI improvements than we do.
Oh, and
So,
look at this. Oh, but you can't do two here, but you can't. This is new, actually. I haven't seen
oh,
this
okay.
before. But that's how they have it exactly how you were talking about. And so to me, putting number one, um, starting to add things to a plus menu that are
Yep.
kind of in addition to is a nice way to be able to add a lot of things
Without taking up
without
screen real
cluttering
estate.
up.
Yep.
Okay. That's number one. Number two is once people start using this, they're going to want it on mobile.
And if it's already in that little bubble, then it carries over very well and easier because you don't have to worry about drop downs, hamburger bars, and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay.
So
I'm sold. No
okay.
argument. No, no, no. There's no need to go. I'm sold. I was okay with however this goes. It just like you said, it had to be easy. It had to be simplistic. I hadn't had an opportunity to see how Claude was doing it, but they're following like I knew OpenAI is, where they're
With that being said, if we can have it here quick and
yeah.
it's going to take longer to put it here, I'd rather have it here quick and then move it to here than have to wait a lot
Okay.
longer. So it's really however it's easier for you to develop it.
I go for right the first time because if I'm going to spend 20 minutes versus 45 minutes, I'll spend 45 at
Oh
once,
yeah,
right?
100%. But if it's 3 days versus
Oh no,
45
no,
minutes,
where
yeah.
that's going to be, it's not going to be, that's not just 20 minutes basically.
Okay, so what are we thinking in terms of timeline here?
This week, okay, because I'm working backwards. If I can get to unhard code all the rag stuff that I have to unhard code, I have it almost done. I just have to wrap it up, and I figure that's going to take probably a few days. The install system. It's an unknown, but hold on. I think it's actually closer because the Docker work was already done. And the Docker work, in a lot of ways, is very similar to what needs to happen. I just need to lose the Docker aspect. So I just need to make sure that there's a pipeline separation where if you're going Docker, because I want to leave that in place because it works and let it be available, but then you're having a sub process. Basically, it's going to be a fast API anyways. Um, and just started off going that direction. If by the end of the week, if I can have the install working and it installs RAG so that I can start next week on the UI implements, that would be a perfect world.
Okay.
I do not see getting out of that window where next week I'm starting. In fact, if anything, if everything goes well, I will be into the UI this week.
Okay, and that puts us on a path for a very Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Let me just see if I can bring up my calendar without just exposing my email to everyone. Okay, so that would be this week. Yeah, and then the following week is Christmas.
Yep.
So that would be a fully functioning foundation,
Of RAG.
probably minus concierge, but would be because I can have, and also once I'm waiting, I want to have a lesson in the course on RAG.
Yep.
So being able to put that in will be huge. And now I can put the Mac installer in. And also, I think we probably have enough to go and post um, in the local LLM Reddit again to follow up on our contest
Yep.
entry that we posted there with more of a bigger overview with the stuff that we finished up and all that. We have the course now. We have
Yeah,
the
because they
Mac
did say
installer.
they were open to people, hey, don't stop working on your projects
Yeah,
and like that. So, hey, I would open that up to an opportunity to repost and say, hey, this is our contest entry. We've moved a little further along. In case
right,
you've been watching, because we had 8 people comment, I believe, or something of that nature.
right.
Um, so yeah, I see no reason why not there. Get some love.
Great. So that's that. And let's just see if there's anything else here. Bum. Monday agenda. No, I think we're good. So with that, unless there's anything else from you, Dave.
Nope. Rag. That's all I know right now.
Awesome. So we do these calls every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time on our YouTube via live stream. We post the recordings afterwards on our community forums over at community.braindrive.ai. So we'd love it if you'd participate in any or all of those options there and contribute your ideas and plugins, etc. And our, as we stated at the beginning of the call, our mission here at BrainDrive is to build a superior user-owned AI system to big tech platforms. And we'll see you next week.